Just believe me, never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to work and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's got next. And on me for. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. We're with the one and only Quida Chancey, all the way from New York City.
Don't do that, Doni.
Okay, she's a Baltimorean. You got a Ravens jacket.
I got a Ravens jacket. I got a Ravens jersey. I got some Ravens colored sneakers. Like the girl is be more down.
You renounced your affiliations.
Bruh, I'm a be more girl. Like I need folks to understand that. May not have been born here, but I was raised here and I go hard for be more. Like
I go hard for New York.
Okay, you can do that too. Cause listen, I go hard for New York too. Listen, don't try to put me in the box, Doni. I told you, I'm not a boxed out chick. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Baltimore. I'm in New York. I'm in Savannah. She's all over the place.
We need to add Atlanta to your resume. So it's going to say New York, Baltimore, Atlanta.
ATL, shawty.
Shawty.
Good morning.
Spellman.
Folks.
Tell me about Spellman, Quida Chancey.
I can tell you about Spellman and I can tell you about me. Hey, folks, I'm Quida Chancey, the founder and director of Smalltimore Homes. You can see my beautiful logo behind us. We build micro shelters and tiny homes for folks who are unhoused, but we do so much more. I do financial literacy. And like Doni said, like Spellman sparked all of that. When I graduated, there were women who were being gifted homes at graduation. And I was like, my parents don't even own their home right now. Like we grew up in Baltimore County, moving from house to house, chasing the best school district, the best high school. And yes, and after Spellman, when I came back to Baltimore, I bought my house in Baltimore City.
You in Baltimore before Spellman?
I was in Baltimore. Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought you like left New York, went to Spellman, and then came to Baltimore. You were here first.
Yes, that's why I'm like, I am Baltimore bound. I graduated in Baltimore County from Western Tech. Yes.
I did not know that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you people. I grew
You're
up.
a county girl. I've taken New York over county girl.
You can do that, but you gonna pick me over anybody, so it don't matter what you talking about, okay?
So tell me about Spelman. Why did you choose Spelman?
Well, my mother is also a Spelman graduate. So my mother graduated from Spelman in 79. So I grew up looking at her yearbook and just being like ingratiated with all these beautiful Black women and just knowing that that was the kind of environment I needed to be around. But
Your mama was there 4 years before I got there.
yes, yeah. So my mother's right. Yep, she was there before you. And she got there early. She graduated from high school when she was 16. So she did high school in 3 years and then went to Spelman early. And then she went back to New York after Spelman. But my mother put that in my head. My grandmother went to Morgan. So I know if I didn't go to Spelman, I might have ended up at Morgan. I don't know, but my grandmother put that in my head. So I
gotta tell you this. When I completed my tour of duty at Morehouse and found myself at Morgan State University.
Tour of duty. Mm-hmm.
I noticed that Morgan, the people at Morgan carried it like they were bougie.
Oh.
And it was interesting having come from Morehouse, where you see the richest people in the world.
But they're really bougie, right? Like at Morehouse, they didn't have to pretend to be rich, but
they were filthy rich.
Right. And those
cool,
people,
down to earth. You see a Benz here, you see a Saab here, you see a Porsche here. But it was you at Morehouse, you at Spelman. I never felt, I mean, I did realize that my family wasn't as rich as others.
Right. But you were never ostracized because of it. You were never a part of the poor clique or there was a rich clique. Like it was all beautiful Black men. Like,
oh, it was all Morehouse. You Morehouse.
Right. And ride or die, right? Like people are going to be people and cliques are going to be cliques, but the overall culture of
you support
like
this institution,
right? Like, yeah, it wasn't, I loved it there. So whenever I get a chance to tell people about Spelman, it's like, it's the Black Mecca. Like Spelman, Morehouse, Clark, all of that. Like, I don't want to just put Spelman on a pedestal. I mean, I do, but at the same time, we can't negate that it takes a community to keep that kind of stuff going. You know what I mean? And Clark isn't surrounded by gates. Spelman is surrounded by gates. Those women are protected. We have our own police situation. Like, I understand that, but we can take classes at Clark and Morehouse and building that community and being able to take like that pride, that privilege. Like Black is privilege. Like
AU. So you're part of the Morehouse family, the Spelman family, but you're also a part of the AU family.
Yes, the Atlanta University Center is where it's at. Like, we have to understand that we can't, do it by ourselves, and we shouldn't be doing it by ourselves, like under any circumstance, even if you don't, right? Like, partner up with folks and build community. Like, that is a whole community. Spelman and Morehouse, homecoming. Oh my God.
I'm getting ready to drop a jewel on you. There's a Baltimorean named Larry Jennings.
Okay.
And my sources told me that at a critical time, he was there to help save Morris Brown College.
Yes, right, because Morris Brown is back now. While I was there, Morris Brown had lost their accreditation, and that's the thing. Like, they shouldn't have went through that by themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there should have been some sort of HBCU Black Public Council that could have guided them the right way so that that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But people are going to be people, and we're in a capitalistic society. So you're like incentivized to take advantage of people. So that's where we are. But yeah, Spelman, back to the Black excellence of it all, right? Like, Spelman was so dope, and I would continue to tell people to go there, but watch your coins. Like, be careful with the coins because it's very expensive. And, thank Biden and the whole administration for erasing some of these loans. But the way these HBCUs are set up, like, my grandchildren's children will be paying back these loans. And I ain't got no kids yet, Doni. So they going to have to figure it out, babe.
New York, Baltimore, Atlanta. HBCUs. When you think of where we are as a people, those are three important cities when it comes to our fight for civil rights. You lived in three important cities. New York, 1917, W.E.B. Du Bois coming down the street with the Silent March. New York City, first Black newspaper, Freedom's Journal. Second Black newspaper, the North Star. Frederick Douglass came from Syracuse. I think he came down to New York City. Baltimore, NAACP, second oldest home. New York City, the oldest home. Atlanta, a bastion of the civil rights movement. Where are we today?
Where are we today? I think today we're so disjointed. It's hard to say where we're at. Like, it's really hard to say where we're at. Oh my God, my phone. I'm sorry, Doni. But I think it's hard to say where we're at because where we're at now, I think that some folks are like below. Like just not surviving, not going to ever be able to thrive. But then there's this, elite group of folks who are educated, who do have privilege, who are experiencing disposable income. There are things that need to be, evident in your life in order for you to thrive. And I don't think enough of us are thriving. So for me, I feel like we need to do more. Like the folks that understand that we are in a state of, I don't know, it's a state of depression, if you ask me. Like we really need to figure it out. And I think that all of us are responsible for being involved. Like some folks don't believe that. And I believe that anti-Blackness ain't where it's at. And I'm not going to support that. And yeah.
You said that we are disjointed, and kudos to our teammates who have sent greetings, Quandra, Mr. Haney.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, fam. Are you optimistic? We're more disjointed, I'm hearing you say, but are you optimistic?
Am I optimistic? I'm definitely optimistic. I have to be because I'm in the community. Like I'm not doing this for fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing it for change. Like I want to make sure that children are growing up with better opportunities. And even if they don't have better opportunities, that they recognize that their greatness is within them, regardless of your environment, regardless of your teachers, regardless of the blight that you see, regardless of leadership that you don't agree with. The greatness is within you and you don't need them for anything. Like just teaching our youth that we are enough and how to grow through all of this nonsense and see your greatness is where I'm at. Like, let's continue to pour in our youth and let them know that Whitney Houston was right. They're our future, right? So let's focus on them because they're going to be the ones that are here 50 years from now. We're going to be gone and they're going to have to take the torch. So pouring into youth and letting them know that we're in a state of disaster and you have the power to change it.
Why do you care about houseless people?
Because as simple as it is, I feel like housing is the easiest and quickest way to build wealth. But not everybody recognizes that and realizes that you need to have some sort of wealth because you can't work every single day. You should recognize at some point that it is not good for you to be exchanging your time for money. Like you need to figure out another way to make money in your sleep and building equity in a home. Those, that's where it starts. But you can't begin to be healthy. You can't begin to save. You can't begin to think about your future if you don't know where you're resting your head every night. Like that's just simple.
You saw a lot of homelessness in New York City, I would imagine.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm wondering if that had anything to do with like the mindset that I have now. But even when I came to Baltimore, it was a lot of homelessness too. Like I remember all those tents that used to be on MLK, and then one year they just all disappeared. It was a fence, like slowly they were disappearing, but then everything was gone. And that's really when my activism started. It's like y'all didn't create a tiny home community. Y'all didn't create like a Skid Row or what someplace where folks can feel like they could just go and be safe. So what the hell happened? And Smalltimore Homes was founded because one, in Baltimore, 4 out of 5 of the people who are sleeping on the street are Black. Like that's problematic. I don't want people like me sleeping on the street. That's problematic. So for that reason, I've been involved in trying to figure out how to get folks to understand that housing is as important as food and water. Like it's common sense to me, but it's something that I have to continue to talk to people about.
So you started Smalltimore Homes.
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Smalltimore Homes, it was to get community involved, to find out about one, educate folks about homelessness and homelessness advocacy, but more importantly, housing insecurity and understanding that most people are a paycheck away from being able to pay their bills, right? So if you lose your job tomorrow, you got about a month to figure it out before you are on the street. And that's scary. That's scary for a lot of people. But that's the reality for a lot of people. So during Smalltimore Homes, we would meet monthly. I would invite volunteers to help me build my micro shelters. We have a 5x7 model. We have an 8x8 model. And then I also have a 20-foot tiny home. But that advocacy allowed me to talk to people about all these different reasons that you can become housing insecure. So many people assume it's because of mental health, but it could be your job has gone bankrupt and now you don't have any control over that, and now you don't have a job, or you went through a massive amount of medical bills, or you went through a divorce, or you didn't graduate high school, or you cannot read, or you are artistic, or you are dyslexic. All these things like feed into
So it's not just drug addicts.
It's never just drug addicts. And just to simply say that, it's just like ridiculous to me, right?
Well,
Like,
there's some validity when you see so many homeless people chasing dope.
well, Doni, I mean, if you don't know where you're going to sleep, if I can be a thriving businesswoman.
I was trying to
I
save this
go
like
through
for another 12 minutes, but it looks like it's ding ding. Here we go.
Donnie, look, because you know we're going to get into it,
If
right?
you sniffing dope,
Yeah.
you ain't ready to pay no bills because you
No, but
sniffing dope.
did I start off sniffing dope? Probably the hell not. I probably been on the street for 6 months, a year. So that's problematic. That's
Don't-
what's exposed to. That's my new food, bruh. That's all I can afford.
Okay. So don't they gotta go to treatment first?
No. I know drug addicts that never been to treatment. I know recovering drug addicts that never had to go to treatment. So
Who's
some
gonna
people
hold
might.
the addict accountable?
We have to hold ourselves accountable as well. Like, don't pretend like the system isn't a part of their failure. Like, the system is causing this down. And I don't even want to call it failure because it's only failure if you give up. And the folks that I'm rocking with are not giving up. Like, yes, Donnie, mental health is necessary. Addiction counseling is necessary. Skills, skill building, job, workforce development, even people skills, socialization. All of that is necessary. But how am I going to talk to you about skills and you don't know where you're sleeping? That is crazy. You need to be fed.
Well, I wanted to help a lady yesterday who looked homeless, but she was busy going down my alley, a white lady with a black man, and they were getting ready to go shoot some dope.
And how was you going to help her? What was you about to do, Donnie? Like, stop. What you thought you was about to do for this woman in your alley? Nothing, but tell her to go home.
No, I would have talked to her. I've been talking to her despite the rough exterior. I have had some functional conversations with some of the addicts in my community who do not match the majority demographic of Sandtown. I've had some actually intelligent civil conversations with some of the homeless addicts.
And I believe that because guess what? They're people and they
I
can
got
have
tired of yelling
conversations.
at them. I got tired of yelling at them. I'm keeping
Because
one
why
out.
are you yelling at them? They're not children. Like,
They were in my alley upsetting Pharaoh.
right. And are they gonna listen? I'm not gonna listen to you if you
Oh, they're
yelling
not
at
going.
me. Like
They
these are
not shooting.
children.
You're not shooting dope in my alley. Let's be
They're
clear
not
about that.
listening to you unless Pharaoh going out there to bite them. So
No,
like
Pharaoh ushers them to the next block.
not ushers them. Donnie, come on. All right. So what are you proposing? Because as far as I'm concerned, food, water, and housing, food, water, shelter. Like
I've
let's start
said
there.
all three.
Let's start there, and then we can build in the mental health, the addiction counseling, the workforce development. But I
Have
can't
you
get
ever
you to a
tried to help
workforce.
somebody who don't?
Donnie, how am I gonna get you to the workforce development appointment and you didn't have anywhere to sleep last night? You can't
Because
sleep
they
on
were
the
busy
bus
getting
bench.
high. Getting high is a big problem. There's a man. You know where I live. There's a man at the other end of the block, third house from the corner. You have to see this with your own eyes to believe it. So he backs up to the wall of the house
Okay.
with his back to the wall. He squats down and then he
Defecates.
lowers himself into the basement window of this vacant house. The problem is, because how else you gonna get it? He's essentially crawling in the basement window. That's his space. And then he puts this junk in front of it to, I guess,
Deter people from coming in behind him.
okay. But the problem is it's 2 doors away from a family with a newborn baby.
What's he doing to the newborn baby?
He's jeopardizing their well-being every single day that he's in there. This morning, I awoke to news of a house fire in the 1600 block of West North Avenue.
Right.
For the uninitiated, that is Penn North. That is where Freddie Gray happened 7 years ago. A year ago, in the past year, we dealt with 3 firefighters who died inside of vacants. 1600 block has 3-story houses. We have to do better as a society in fixing vacants, and the dope gotta go.
I mean, yes,
And whether
absolutely.
we want it to go or not, it's gonna go.
The
As a
dope
matter
has
of
to
fact,
go.
it's about to be some zero tolerance in Baltimore. I
Right.
see it coming.
The dope has to go, but there's so much trauma and unhealthiness that people are trying to heal. Like there's self-medication. Like we can't act like
You can't
doctors
get
are.
high in the vacant next to my house. There's a problem. You're not getting high there.
Well, send them to the methadone clinics. There's tons of those all throughout Baltimore. So if drugs are the problem, send them to some of these clinics. Donnie, that's not my ministry. My ministry is getting people in houses and off the streets. It's ridiculous to me that people are sleeping in tents for months and years, and that doesn't make sense to me. So all the other stuff that goes into it, that's not my ministry. I can't speak to it. I might be able to help it. I can probably point you to a resource, but I'm focused on replacing micro shelters and not seeing tents. Like tents and people, that's a privilege of white people when they go camping. It is not for us to be living in every day. That's problematic. That's where I stand.
So what can people do to help you?
You all can donate to Smalltimore Homes. You can come out to our weekly wellness walk and hear what we're doing in the community. As a matter of fact, Donnie, we're right around the corner. We're going to be working with an organization near Harlem Park Elementary School, and we're doing an outdoor classroom right across the street from there. We're also doing some talking about doing some hood hikes in West Baltimore. Right now, we had Project
I
Healthy.
thought of a game.
You said what?
I thought of a game.
Lord, let me finish. Project Healthy Communities, Lake Montebello, East Baltimore, 9 a.m. every Sunday morning. We have a doctor. We do some mindfulness, some movement. We walk around the lake, but come out and community with us. That's every Sunday. It's free 99. Yeah, those are the things that are open to the public. Like I'm doing some work in Charm City Virtual, doing some financial literacy, doing some mentorship with Dent Education. They empower Black youth right here in Baltimore to become entrepreneurs. So yeah, we're doing a lot of things. So tell me about your game, Doni. Run it by me. What's the game about?
It's called Hood Survival.
Okay. Tell me more.
Contestants get 200 pennies.
Oh, wait, pause. Okay, keep going.
And we drop them off at the Avenue Market. And they got to make it to Woodlawn on foot.
Okay, Puffy. Walk and get me a cheesesteak, bruh. Okay. It might be possible.
Survival in the hood. You know, Big Pep Morning Show spent the night in the hood.
Listen.
20 years ago. I'd like to see a survivor game. I mean, I see all of these other cities, and we will have safe houses. Like if you make it to a safe house, then you can freshen up, replenish, blah, blah, blah. I mean, since a lot of non-Black people get their thrills and certain street cred coming through Pennsylvania Avenue, let's get paid off of it.
I hear you. There's a
we're gonna have some. This is one thing I want to have in the game: snatches.
Like purse snatchers?
No, people snatchers. So like they trying to get from the Avenue Market to Woodlawn. Not real traffickers. I mean, you gonna have good teams and you have bad teams, but the bad team trying to snatch him. Yeah, they trying to snatch him, throw a hood over the head, throw him. And if that's the case, you lost. If you get snatched, you lost.
Wow. Okay. And so what?
You also got an angel team that say, "Hey, watch out for them. Come here."
Boy, it sounds like demons and angels. It sounds like good and evil. It sounds like it's giving me the snatchers are like the systemic problems like redlining, racism, sexism, prejudiceness, and then the angels are community members that are trying to lift people up. I like it a lot. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. So this work has been going on.
This lady got a quote for you. Zakiya Bazemore. She put up a novel. Zakiya, I sent you the code because I ain't put Zakiya. See, this is what happened when you put up a novel. It cut all our face off. See?
Right. Okay, but look over it. Okay, vulnerable citizens, addiction is not a disease. Exactly. Right. See, so she's speaking my language. She understands.
She's running for office.
Look, okay, so we can talk. I would love to talk about it because my work is mentioned in The Black Butterfly by Dr. Lawrence Brown. He is proposing solutions to better and fix Baltimore. Because one of the things that we can't negate is that there is lead in everything, and lead shouldn't be in your body. And we need to abate the lead. We need to get rid of the drugs. We need to clean our environment. The fact that the incinerator is like known as one of Baltimore's like landmarks is so cringy to me. Like that thing is polluting Pigtown in South Baltimore, Cherry Hill, right?
That's how I feel about some places over in Eastern Baltimore County where the environment is toxic and people are buying homes. A friend of mine bought a home and I just keep my mouth shut I'm not buying no home over there, no places that have suspect environments. I saw you plugging Black Butterfly, so you've encouraged me. I gotta plug Unapologetically Black, and I am Black Wall
Yes,
Street. And
we
you
gotta
are
read.
actually a Black Wall Street honoree, LaQuida.
LaQuida does what she can, okay? LaQuida does what she
Let's
can.
do this.
Put the politicians on your game, Donnie. See if they can navigate their hoods. They can't. I mean, they can try.
Without a GPS.
I don't see it happening, but that would be a great one, Quandra. That's a good one.
And every contestant gets an addict tour guide.
I like. Oh, but Donnie, listen. I said all that to say that Dr. Lawrence Brown did a like Black Monopoly, and it's crazy
I'm
because
sorry,
it's
who is this guy?
he's a Morehouse graduate, Dr. Lawrence. Oh, come on. I can't do it because of the green screen. But Dr. Lawrence Brown is a Morehouse graduate.
Where's he from?
He is from, I want to say somewhere in the South, like Texas. I don't know, but he's been in Baltimore.
He's not in Baltimore anymore, is he?
Yeah, he is. He's back at Morgan. So actually he had left to go to like Michigan, someplace cold. It doesn't matter to me because that's not my ministry. But he went
okay, so he wrote a book about the white owl, the black butterfly. Did he teach us anything we don't know?
Yes, absolutely. He went through all the history of Baltimore. He went through all the history of Baltimore, but more importantly, brought it forward to, let me show you, like we have solutions in here, like the list of the catalyst grants and or funding.
Please share.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for it. I wasn't prepared to do that, but what I wanted to tell you.
We can talk about that at another time.
No, but what
I hear people reference this book.
Oh.
And I'm always curious as to what they're referencing.
And
what specifically?
Well,
and solutions are always important. What solutions might we have?
Well, one of the points that Dr. Brown is making is that we do need to abate like all the lead that is here. And if we're serious about how much it's going to take to fix Baltimore, it's in the $3.5 billion range and upward. Like we have to remember that New York took about 10 to 15 years to abate lead in like the 70s. And then crime significantly dropped 80s and 90s. If we don't do that in Baltimore, we probably aren't going to see that much of a change because people are going to continue to be affected by the lead in their body. But he also made a monopoly game that kind of builds on redlining. So if you're in a redline community, you might find yourself staying on go the whole time because you never move. While if you're in a green community, which is in the white L and, get to all the budget, you might be able to go around the damn board 5 times, Donnie. So it really.
But did we not know this?
It's not that we don't know this. It's that when I'm talking to kids, they think that because they live in Baltimore and they see so much Black leadership, that Baltimore is not systemically racist. And redlining was started here, and almost
young people don't know that.
No.
So we should teach them how and where it started.
Yes.
Like 1910 with Mayor J. Barry Mahul, who ushered in an ordinance for the members of the garden community called Roland Park.
Yes.
Who did not want Black people living there.
Yes. I mean, and this book goes back to the early 1800s of Baltimore's segregation and how it has been systemically upheld. Like we know that there has been Black covenants in certain neighborhoods that say Black folks cannot buy houses in this neighborhood. And some of those still exist. They're not being respected.
Black people couldn't live in white neighborhoods and white people could not live in Black neighborhoods. That's the insidious nature of Baltimore's segregation. Further, these housing policies, however institutional, were replicated around the country. So Baltimore,
Chicago, Minneapolis,
is the home of apartheid.
The precipice of it, okay? Like and it's problematic.
And
And
so Baltimore and New York both were dealing with similar scenarios. And New York has, in certain ways, more experience
oh yeah,
with this segregation, also with eminent domain. So
absolutely.
let's not forget Seneca Village, which was right there, a part of Central Park. And I'm
Yeah.
always geeked about New York. I'm headed there Friday. But Seneca Village, 1828, independent Black community that was snatched up and taken, just like Cross Keys. Who knew that Cross Keys had a Black community? But again, just like in New York, eminent domain came and snatched it up. I'm not sure why you're pointing to the book. Is Cross Keys mentioned in the book?
No, I'm saying the history of it all comes down to knowing how to move forward, right? Like I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that the history matters. And so if
Be More News has been talking about this for 20 years, if people read.
well, do people read? Baltimore is claimed to be the city.
And Johns Hopkins, you know, they only get but so much credibility. Black people only get but so much credibility when it comes to Hopkins, because Hopkins, when you think of Henrietta Lacks, when you think of this uneven development, they are very much, they are at the top of the white L in terms of their geographic location. So from Johns Hopkins University straight down to the harbor over to Canton, it's a reverse L actually. That's where most of the investment has gone over the past 100 years, where communities like East and West Baltimore is just like, hands off, don't touch, step away, act like you don't see it.
Yeah, I call it the Hopkins bubble, and I get to benefit from it. Like when I moved back here, Hopkins was giving away $40,000 for people to live in their footprint, and I was like, "Sign me up! I want a new house," and I've been living there ever since. But it's still problematic because we have so much investment here, and now Hopkins is proposing their own police department. I'm not out there doing anything crazy, and I don't have children that I'm afraid these policemen are going to harass.
I
But
don't
they're
mind them
still
having their own
problematic.
police if they were paying their fair share of taxes. Does Hopkins pay its fair share of taxes
No, it
in Baltimore
absolutely
City?
doesn't, and that's why it's
Oh,
problematic.
well,
Hopkins isn't
hold up.
above
You
this
ain't got no
problem.
skin in this game. If you are not helping to pay for all of this, you have no say. I'm a taxpayer. I
They
don't even
don't
have
care.
sense.
They don't care about your tax paying. They are going to pay their own
That's
private
the
police to
problem.
police their bubble, and you can keep complaining, and they are going to continue to
Let me tell you
operate.
about Hopkins. Having come out of Dunbar, you never had to pay parking to go to Dunbar. But now, because of Hopkins, you now have to pay parking to visit Dunbar.
Because it's in their little bubble now. Because their
It ain't
bubble is
theirs.
growing.
They live there. It's not theirs.
Oh, listen. So, right. So we'll say it's not theirs, but who owns anything around here? Hopkins doesn't let,
Well,
Hopkins is not allowing
let
people
me
to
share
buy
something with
anything.
you. In
Like,
the big scheme of things, don't nobody own nothing. In the big scheme of things.
I can't tell.
When Hurricane Katrina went through New Orleans, it didn't even matter. See, well, I'm getting spiritual, but at the end of the day, God owns everything. And God giveth and God taketh away. Just like Mr. Crump is over there helping the Henrietta Lacks family finally get some restitution after damn near 100 years.
And it's not going to be enough because Hopkins in all hospitals continue to use, like, they should be getting royalties. Like, their family should be getting
Oh,
royalties
but Hopkins'
forever.
excuse is there was no law in place. So when they mention diversity, equity, inclusion, that's like the devil talking
I
about.
don't care about laws when we're talking about ethicalness. You can't
But
take,
that's why they don't have to pay, because there was no law broken.
well, ethics matter,
They
and
have
we
no
can
ethics.
read
When you think of the
reparations.
father of gynecology, J. Marion Sims, the man who did surgery on Black women without anesthesia, this man is still regarded as the father of gynecology.
I
Nothing
know.
changed with certain people. They are the same damn devils that great-great-grandfathers were.
I mean, I'll take it a step
Look
further.
at
Like,
Donald Trump. Is he not Andrew Jackson reincarnated?
I don't.
Andrew Jackson wanted to put all of the Blacks and Indians out of Florida.
I don't want to talk about Trump. I don't care about him. Back to Baltimore. So Johns Hopkins, the way that they are set up, they are a monopoly, and I think that we need to hold them
You say they the
accountable.
devil? What you say? I was reading.
They're a monopoly, and
Oh,
I
I
think
thought
we
you said
need
they
to
were the devil.
hold them accountable. I didn't say they're the devil. I mean, but we need to hold them accountable. They should be paying taxes. Like, I feel like they have like $1 trillion endowment. Like, that's the number I like to throw around because they have so much money that it's ridiculous, and they still don't pay proper wages. So holding these corporations, these anchor institutions, also problematic language, but I'm gonna speak the language that people understand. These anchor institutions need to be paying their taxes and holding down the communities that they claim to be anchoring, because evading taxes is part of the problem as well.
But
And
people
that is
scared of
all.
paying up the Hopkins. They're afraid to tell them, hey, you're not playing fair. You need to make a fair. And they ain't the only ones. University of Maryland too.
Oh, it's so many. It's so many.
I
I
remember
mean,
when my daughter was born at the University of Maryland, my wife at the time told me that they treated her
horribly.
horribly
Mhm.
right down the street. So we see all of this talk. And don't get me wrong, you got butts everywhere. But she felt like it was their normal way of treating Black women having a baby.
It is. It is like Black women's
I'll
maternal
never
health.
forget that. She was having a baby, but she was pissed
Distraught.
at the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
She said they were racist towards her. And I know you probably haven't met my ex, but went to Clark, got a little of that, upward mobility in her. And she wasn't tolerating it.
Mm-hmm. And she shouldn't. Like, Black women mortality rate is so high. Like, they don't
And then they want to
believe,
treat you like you don't know anything.
or like you're not a human. Like,
She said
I
they treated her like
experienced
she
this
was ghetto.
body.
That's honestly. She said they treated her like she was nobody. Just a
Right.
poor Black person.
Subhuman.
Yeah. I'll
Subhuman.
never
Like,
forget that. 21
just
years
treat
ago.
you like a person. And that's the thing, Donnie. Like, if you don't have the right language, and if you aren't speaking sharply, and if you
You in a bath, you in a smock. I mean,
I woke up and now I'm in labor. Like, I can't look like a businesswoman, right? Like, what are we talking about here? And none of those things should matter when we're talking about healthcare.
but see,
And
that's a part of the institutional racism. It goes from the housing policy and it bleeds over into all of these other areas. I mean, imagine the chagrin on her face when a non-Black person, God knows from where, is coming to her city where she's having her daughter with her husband, and they're casting judgment on her. The rock was on the finger. What's the problem?
it doesn't matter. She's a
Doesn't
Black
matter.
woman. So
Doesn't
she's
matter. You got a
subpar.
rock on the finger or not.
Subpar. That is the problem. That's
So
why
the University of Maryland, at the end of the day, has some ghetto tendencies. It needs to change.
Baltimore
And it's not just enough to get a Black president.
No.
Planned Parenthood will often get a Black woman president, and that's supposed to negate some of the things they've done in the past. It does not. We got way deep. I knew it was going to go like, you knew it was going to go like that too. That's why you stay off my show.
That is why I stay off your show, because systemic racism is in everything. And I'm going to always talk about these colonizers. So you can't just put all the blame on my unhoused population or on all these addicts. Like, all of that stuff is systemically intentional, and I'm going to speak on it.
You got a new guest. There you go. Look, her name ain't young lady. Her name is Quida. I done gave you a bunch of hints, Miss Zalika Bazemore.
That is funny. So Miss Bazemore, Maryland Delegate 40.
I thought she was running for mayor. Well, I guess that was the last time.
She said, I'm gonna be up in this system somehow, some way. Might as well be you, because it won't be me. Like, the politics of the politics, I don't need to operate in that realm. I don't need permission to do what's right. I'm gonna keep replacing these tents, and we're gonna figure it out one way or another. That's how that's gonna be done. So thank you, because the mamas, the politicians, Y'all matter. That's not my ministry, but y'all matter. So thank you for that.
Who has helped you?
Donnie, you have helped me. Yes.
Even though I don't all the way agree on some things,
It doesn't matter if you agree. Help is
I
help,
have to
right?
help you, my Spelman sister.
Yeah,
I am
like,
obligated. We learned that in the first 2 weeks of Morehouse. You learned it all in the first 2 weeks.
listen, Donnie, and great minds think differently. So we can keep having these conversations. Like,
Ooh, that is the first time I've ever heard that.
listen, we can't build if we're all thinking the same damn way. Like, let's be real. We have to think creatively, innovatively. Like, some people know history that I don't know. Some people have skills that I don't know. So keep bringing it in. We're gonna keep talking about it. Okay? Like,
What do you need?
what do I need? I need I need funding. If I could do this in such a way that we weren't so concerned about cutting corners and working against I don't even know, the supply chain. Like, doing this work is really difficult because the supply chain and inflation, like the prices just keep going up. So support in that way, financial support, to sponsor a vacant lot, financial support to
How much is
sponsor
a vacant lot?
a vacant lot here in Baltimore. They can be between $5,000 and $20,000. So if you donate, we can find a lot within that realm. There are 14,000 above to pick from. So I'm sure whatever you donate, we can figure it out. But up to 25,000 for a vacant lot, and at least 5,000 for our tiny shelters, and 50,000 for our full size 20-foot shelter.
Where can people see one?
They can go to smalltimorehomes.org. They can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the stuff is everywhere because it needs to be seen everywhere. Lord have mercy.
Why don't you email us at Doni@bemorenews.com? Oh no, these are some other people.
Yeah, I'm blocking them now. They be acting up.
How did you block them?
You got to right click. I'll show you one day.
Okay.
Also, y'all, I went to Spelman for computer science. So I'm help desk. You see me, I'm on here getting y'all together. But these kind of things matter. So how much time we got, Donnie? How much time we got?
As long as you like.
I like to hear that. I don't need much more time. I just wanted to make sure that folks know that we are holding a health and wellness fair at the YMCA. And you can reach
Which
out.
one?
The one on 33rd near Morgan State
University.
The
fancy one. That's my wife. They got the sauna and the swimming pool.
Yes, and the climb wall. Like, they do a lot of great stuff.
Climbing a damn wall.
You know what? That's great for upper body strength.
Can you imagine if you fall right there, all of those people going to see you fall?
I'm not climbing on nothing
not
either.
a good look.
No. But Saturday, November 12th and Saturday, December 3rd, come by the Y, pick up some freebies, come fill out some surveys, get your blood pressure. We are all about community health and wellness. Like, we focus on the person, but the community matters also.
Well, you have a very, you got a lot of watchers. We have to bring you on more often. Tell them about your show.
Yeah.
Invite some people on to your show.
Yes.
You gotta put your phone number out there because Miss Bazemore, she gonna reach you today. I can tell you that. I can bet all the tea in China that she calling you today.
I'm gonna write down Miss Bazemore number, but I'm not putting my number out there. And I tell people that have my number now, I don't answer my phone. Y'all be calling me with stuff that's not in my realm, like I am a superwoman, and it gives me anxiety, y'all. I can't be saving. I gotta stay in my lane. But I'm gonna call Miss Bazemore and we're gonna talk. I actually have a couple of things to do today, so I'll probably call her around 2. But Miss Bazemore, we'll talk. But communities matter, humans matter, and we need to keep treating humans like humans. That's where I'm at with it.
Look at this comment. I'm trying to get in power as a servant to help more of you that are doing the work. You need more funding, and the existing politicians are ignoring you. Inbox me because you need more funding.
Listen, I told you I'm a caller. Say less. Like,
Isaac, all right, Miss Baseball. That's it for you today. Okay.
Thank you for tuning in. It's Bazemore.
Bazemore will
Sandra,
work. He will work you.
Listen, I need y'all to understand, like, there are 3,000 people that sleep on the street every night in Baltimore, and 4 out of 5 of them look like me, and that's problematic for me. So getting humans out of tents, off the streets, and into shelters just makes sense to me.
Then what about the people who don't really need a Smalltimore home? They just need a swift kick in the butt.
Then they need to go see somebody else. I'm here for
my daddy said, you gonna pay. Wherever you live, you got to pay. And wherever you live, there are rules. Some people don't stay in the missions, the shelters, because they say they are worse than prison.
Yeah.
Or when somebody like Christina Flowers helps people get housing at a hotel that the city's paying for, but then the hotel has to put these people out because they acting a plumb fool.
Right.
Or if they bring the homeless from Tent City, which is in front of City Hall, and they bring them up here to Sandtown, they put them in Penderhughes, and the first night at Penderhughes, they're up on the roof.
Guidance is needed.
It kind of changes some politicians' perception of the problem, because when I need help, I'm there to get help. You got to get that help. And you got to know that that help is not always offered. So if it's there, like financial aid, you got a certain amount of time to get it because it's there. But if you wait till after school start, you're probably not going to get much.
Right.
Because you weren't on your job. Your job, you need that money, you got to be on time. You're applying to this school, you got to apply on time. I mean, how do we teach responsibility, the personal responsibility? Some people don't need a house. They just need somebody to just like, look here, boy.
Yeah, I mean, folks need to learn like discipline and consistency and understand that you can't be motivated all the time, but you are an adult.
You can't be moving around. You got to show some stability.
Well, Doni, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't have a house, you're going to be moving around a lot, right? Like, Liz, you're saying you don't understand.
I'm saying some people are fractured relationships, and more so than a house, they need to repair some relationships because they got a damn house. They got put out because they kept getting high.
Okay, then we're in that case, we're talking
about a lot of these white people. A lot of these white addicts in my hood, they from other counties. They come here slumming because ain't nobody gonna say something. They can do what they want, and there's no accountability. At the end of the day, we all have to be accountable.
Agreed, and that's what I was gonna say. You allow that in
badly one day. They have 5 over here quicker than a New York than a Baltimore speed camera. Because this society cares more about Pharaoh than they do me and you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw that with Mike Vick. Like, I can point to historical moments where like anti-blackness is like the language of America. So
I try to tell Pharaoh, I say, Pharaoh, you got it better than me.
Bruh, Kanye West been talking anti-blackness for years, okay? Years and years and years. And it wasn't until he said something about something that wasn't anti-black and it was what, anti-Semitic, and now he is canceled. He was already on my list of you questionable. Like, why are you talking anti-blackness? Your mother is black, you are black, your father is black. I don't understand.
Anti-blackness.
Kanye West talking about slavery,
white lives. White slavery.
White lives matter.
That was like something very bizarre. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Very, very, very bizarre. Did you know that he and Trump are both Geminis?
I'm not surprised. I'm not
I'm
surprised.
not saying Gemini doesn't have genius. There are some genius Geminis.
But
Prince was a Gemini. Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, Biggie.
mhm.
But
Oh, really?
Donald Trump and Kanye got a little, I don't know,
Little something.
chemical imbalance or
Yes,
screw or something.
yes. But Donnie, we can't deny that there are
Them
problems.
babies got dropped. Their mothers dropped them babies.
Look, there
And
are problems.
it wasn't a little drop. It was a drop on some concrete. One of them church floors. You know the church floor with the tile. That baby got what they call it in football? Timeout, concussion protocol. Never got it.
Yeah, I agree with Quandra. Quandra, I'm with you. Like, he was broken when his mother passed, and he was never healed because he went downhill from there. He was like crazy, but I don't know. Kanye, my point is, it doesn't matter how much money you have, mental illness will hit you at the lowest of the low and the highest of the high. Kanye is, I don't know, claims to be a billionaire, and he has mental
Wasn't he
health.
married to the girl that went out there and showed up butt in public?
I don't know that they were ever married, but
They
anything.
weren't married.
Anything.
This is the one he had a baby by. The K family. What's the K family? What do they call them?
I don't know, but that's the first family that America deserves. They're not.
Example, white addicts do not come in the hood because they might not make it home. Pennsylvania Avenue was like that until Freddie Gray happened.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to condone like killing people to
We're
keep
not
them
saying
out of the
I'm
hood.
just saying Donald Trump is a Gemini and Kanye West is a Gemini.
We know who the names are, Nina. I'm just not giving people recognition that he want me to give recognition to. Like, them people
That's
don't matter.
That lady. She had that daggone butt out there in public. How
I
you gonna get mad at somebody with your
me.
whole butt out there? I mean, you know what? You didn't know she was like that. You know what, boo? This ain't gonna work. You should just
He knew she was like that. Kanye is a clout chaser. Like, he chasing the shiniest thing on the block. Like, that is what he does. I don't respect him. We need to stop talking about him. I'm being triggered. Donnie, I hope you have a magnificent week. I'm not giving any recognition to anything that isn't Black excellence.
What
So
about
I'm
the dude that wears the thing?
I don't know, Donnie. I don't know about that dude.
Like an Indian yogi. How many kids he got?
I don't know.
I got 2 kids. I know who they are.
I don't know. That has nothing to do with me or my ministry or Baltimore. I don't know.
Can you effectively parent? I guess if you got the loot, you can parent. You can parent from the StreamYard.
I don't know. It takes more than just money to parent, and
damn right, you got to be in the house.
You got to love. Like, I don't know about that one, but I don't know. I also don't have children. I also don't have children. Like, that's a burden that not even a burden, but that is that's something I can't. It gives me anxiety to think about my child being outside of my presence, and that is just ridiculous.
Oh, it teaches you to pray, baby.
You said what?
It teaches you to pray, and you realize all of the older people, ancestors who prayed for us.
Yeah.
Somebody prayed for me, had me on their mind.
All right, Donnie. So Sundays, Lake Montebello.
For me.
Y'all come out there and meet your girl.
Lake Montebello, Sunday.
9 a.m. Weekly wellness walk, mindfulness.
9 a.m. on a Sunday morning?
Yes.
That means you do not go out on Saturday night.
I do sometimes. I just look like I've been out on Saturday night when I come on when I get to the lake Sunday mornings, and that's fine too, right?
Queen, thank you for blessing this network. You are the longest host on our network, and you are proof positive that we can do so much more together than individually. You have come over here. You have helped me clean up this playground. You've picked up needles off of the field right here, the very field that I'm sometimes complaining about.
I mean, it's necessary.
You've seen homeless people. Some of them homeless people are now dead. But we have tried. We have cleaned up. We've cleaned up you helped clean up the playground, mounds of trash. You were there when Janet Arcee sent 20 Latinos.
Yes, to help us. And
20
we were
beautiful
out there
Latinos of all
reading.
ages to help us clean up
Yeah.
our mess in our neighborhood. So thank you for caring enough. I'm going to help you with the homes. But if I see somebody disrespecting one of your homes, I'm going to pull them to the side. You let me catch one of them acting up. After all she did for you, after all the arguments I had with her, I'm going to take them all back to the woodshed. I'm going to bring a couple people with me too.
Every now and again, a good talking to is necessary, Donnie. So I'm
No,
not
this
going
is
to
woodshed.
even
This ain't no good talking to. It's going out back.
look, Donnie.
We're gonna
Good
move
talking to.
we're gonna move some furniture.
I'm not condoning violence. Stop it.
Hey, this Baltimore Ravens country. It's football season.
No. And we're not gonna talk about that because the NFL, they trigger me too. The NFL.
All right, well,
And then they started putting the little things on the back.
Throw some holy water on them.
They started acting like they were woke with the racism on the back. And now they done got rid of breast cancer awareness. And it's like woke. And it's all the cancers in October. I'm not going to even talk about the NFL, y'all. Thank you for having me on here today, Donnie. I appreciate you.
I don't like seeing football players wearing pink. That's just anti-football. Let that over there. Let them wear their damn uniforms. These are the colors. Stop changing the colors.
Why do you hate pink? Pink ain't do nothing to you.
It ain't associated with football. That ain't a football damn color, okay?
I'm gonna buy a
brown, purple.
I'm gonna buy a football team, and the color's gonna be pink and purple just for you, Donnie. Pink and purple just for you. Actually, I could never buy a football team. I could never acquire that much worth. Like having that much money is, I don't know, it's sinful to me. We shouldn't have billionaires. I appreciate y'all. Love you. Bye.
Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, world. Thank you, Quida.
You're welcome.